Recording. That's okay. Recording. This may have some audio problems because my computer is on its last legs. Gary Busey. Hi, my name is Took. You're spiritually, you're one of my secret weapons. You gotta fight for your to party type of thing. And love, etc., etc., etc. But also, when I say secret weapon, that also involves money, public opinion, possibility of some conflicts because the humanity is still in a stage where machine guns and bombs and knives, etc., are used. And if you look up the shit that I got online, I've been dealing with I'm dealing with the particular situation that's preparing things so that we can play and or do war without involving anybody that doesn't want to be involved in or things like that. And the people that want to party just party, and the people that want to chill just chill, and everybody that wants to go about their business goes business. But we're settling some. You want to get into things that might make you angry in terms of justice. I don't necessarily recommend you look at the knots that I'm dealing with. If you do want to look at them, you just go to betterfastest.com. It has not been updated, but to entertain the notion of the wonderful things that you can imagine. And the more you let them take fruition in your mind, the more you consider to the Donald Duck too, but I'm talking about one of your greatest admirers. And in fact, that might also help us with some both sponsorships and gifts and presents for Veronica, for Paris Hilton, possibly for Tyra Banks, and for whomever you like, etc., etc. It might also that we can settle these military issues cleanly and and done effectively and efficiently. I would argue some of the missions with the Apprentice and the Celebrity. But and I've always said, by the way, all these idiots that say that Trump is a racist. There's all the PC people that would say talk about inclusion. I was studying and was a director of programs for people that had special needs, although I focus more on social needs than the typical disabilities such as dyslexia, etc., etc. But I was dealing more with different minds, etc., etc. So all the PC that say that Trump is the fact of the matter is that they would never consider you. They'd be polite about it, but they never consider you, Gary Busey, as somebody that could be, secretary or something like that, whereas Donald would. So bullshit walks, bullshit when Gary Busey walks, that's when bullshit walks. And then money can be used for great things, such as, oh, by the way, if you Google to eat, let me cut to the chase. Population growth is going to balance out. Not we could, but we're not. It's going to balance out all the countries like Africa and Southeast Asia that one woman was generating like 8 children. That Africa and Southeast Asia are doing, but our notion of what Africa and Southeast Asia is outdated. The fact of the matter is that we will have this, unless we really fuck up, we're going to have a sustainable society with there's not going to be any more poverty, etc., etc. But if you Google, everyone can have enough to eat. If you're interested in that kind of thing, but since I've seen you, I mean, obviously, I'd seen you in movies back in the 70s, and then since then, I'd seen your face. Maybe I had not seen your movies necessarily. Although, no, I'd seen you in some movies. So it's not that I wasn't aware of you, but I became, as with many personalities, that if they were to give Donald Trump his share, and he makes comments about it, and they'll like giggle, but as with many other personalities, his due share of the fact that he rocketed their presence and their audiences. You also are somebody that I was slightly aware of, and it was not until the Celebrity Apprentice that I became so that you became so important to me. And for years now, I thought one of these days I'm gonna contact Gary Busey. Now I've mentioned the unpleasant knots that have to do with the freedom situation at Better Fastest. By the way, an update. Basically, the woman I love. Anyway, it's a long story, but things are much better now. She's free, and I'm doing my. I think I've done what I need to the best extent that I can possibly to keep her free. She's got a lot of personal situations. Last night I might be with her next month or tomorrow. It's a complicated situation, but the woman, Lala Kiki Veronica, is now also because on I think October, and I had a lot more to do with my shamanism. If you Google next gen shaman, or you go to nextgenshaman.com, I would argue there's a lot more to do with my shamanism, but and I give them a deadline, and that also has to do up in the U.S. military and have become Hell's Angels and other people in the streets, and the connection to the U.S. military, etc., etc., etc. So I gave him a deadline. Lo and behold, the deadline was October 13th. Lo and behold, it's a coincidence, but quote unquote coincidence. Everything is synchronicities. It's about aligning yourself with healthy synchronicities. But yeah, Veronica's free now as of October 13th. There's still people that want to lock her up, tie her down, and force meds upon her. But I think we're getting close to the point where she shall be safe, and we're going to transition to the point where we can travel, go to Disneyland, go to Monument Valley, go to Seven Bridges Road, and if you and I do meet, I can't wait for her to meet you. I think you would absolutely love Veronica. I absolutely love Veronica Lalakiki, and she would absolutely love you. I could. She's the love of my life. I'm surrounded by women like you would not believe, and I'm more about the women, ideally professional sex workers. and or intelligent women that are compatible with them. I'd love for you to be surrounded by sexy women that treat you like the god, the demigod that you are. But there's a lot of people I'd like you to meet. But the fact of the matter is that you know what? Here's what I recommend, because there's a couple of things. When you start wishing for things, you want to maximize, you want to be most effective and efficient about what would make you happy. And, you know, John Lennon said life is, things a lot of times take a shape in your mind, and then in reality they take a shape that's different, and it takes, and you, and wow, it's actually better. A lot of times it's actually worse, but it's path and so on and so forth. But if you would visualize, think in terms of predicting hindsight. If you go to find the card that says I predict hindsight, and then perhaps it's a big world. It might help if you check out from nextgentarot.com, if you check out the simple card keys, because there's other elements of the brain besides the verbal one. So if you visualize you happy in the future, and you get in touch with me, do if we also get in touch with Trump, and whoever we'd like. But yeah, just hit me up, bro, if you're interested.